is Mehar, and this year for my personal project, I decided upon covering strands of maladaptive daydreaming and studying behavior patterns among individuals who suffer through a human dissociative disorder caused by chemical imbalances. My goal for this year was divided into subsections regarding a SMART goal. However, my focal point was directed towards helping individuals through artistic and abstract forms of communication. I achieved this by using color in my artworks, patterns, and texture to evoke emotions and help identify. Moving further onto the objectives, I, as an inquired learner, felt the need to incline towards exploring how chemical imbalances are connected to art forms and visual stimulations. I wanted to embody the achievement of evoking emotions. As for my inquiry questions for this project, I focused on creativity and expressionism. Thus, my project revolved around me creating a guidebook for people with maladaptive dreaming. Since maladaptive daydreaming disconnects you and your daily life forms from reality, I decided to conduct an in-depth research based on how and why the human body allows for such actions to occur. Keeping sustainability in mind, I used a cardboard cereal box to support for my cover, resulting in a feasible and sturdy product. During the explorations of mediums, I used a lot of pouring and also blackout poetry, which allowed me to expand my range towards understanding feelings of distress and overwhelming encounters felt during these disorders. My final outcome consisted of me constructing a guidebook out of reused cardboard and paper, which would act as a handy book for individuals who identify emotions and feelings through a visual artistic concept. Since maladaptive daydreaming is not classified as a medical disorder yet, and there are no cure or treatments for the same, thus reaching out with art would help as a coping mechanism. Through this project, my learning skills and knowledge had been widely impacted. I learned to empathize with people who suffer through these symptoms since I interviewed 2 individuals. I developed an insight on connections psychological expressions have with art and learned new art skills throughout. To cover my reflection, the IB learner profile I displayed are risk taker, inquirer, open-minded, and communicator. Moving further, the ATL covered this year were self-management skills needed for planning and timelines, research skill needed for explorations for a new topic, thinking skills paired with creativity, and social skills for primary research. Below is my QR code mentioned for a poster paired with my topic. Thank you.
My goal for my personal project was to understand the therapeutic effects of music on anxiety and how one can cope with this problem through the basis of music. My product is a song written and produced by me expressing how anxiety is like for the average population of our youth. In my opinion, music plays a very important role in our lives. It can control how a person wants to feel in its own way. Sad songs make us feel sad, upbeat songs make us want to dance to it. I gained 2 main ADL skills during my research: open mindedness and communicator. I became open minded because I understood the different aspects to music from a person and how different genres can be used for different people relieving their stress, as music comes with tons of various genres. I was also a communicator because I socialized with my peers by sending them a survey and understood how every answer varied and that everyone has their own way of expressing how they feel, not only through artistic measures. I chose to do this project because there are people who need to understand how anxiety is a deep rooted problem in our society, and I wanted to express myself through making music.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Chinmay Agrawal, and I thank you all for giving your precious time to watch my presentation. I had always been inclined to develop software or an app or designing apps for the society. I'd been interested in learning computer languages with developing my artificial intelligence for the benefit of our community and society. With the help of my school's digital design teachers and resources available on the internet, I developed some skills based on the areas of my interest, like developing games and creating social apps for laptops and mobiles. Many of you may know that there are no Android or iOS apps for the international backyard, more as the IB learning platforms like ManageBag and Hisprep. Many of my peers and I myself had difficulties due to it, so I thought and decided to create an app that will benefit all MYP and DP students to help them reach better in their academics. This will help the IB students to access information like their grades, marks, global context, ATL skills, key concepts of different subjects, and much more learning sources for subjects and studies. You can simply open the app and fill in the brackets for what type of material you need. For example, if I need to find resources for extended maths, I will have to open the app, swipe right to search, and fill in the brackets MYP5, maths, extended, and then go to the unit to choose my study material. With this amazing feature, it also includes notification and upload feature, which gives you a notification whether your grades are posted, new assignments have been uploaded, or a deadline of any specific thing is coming nearby. It also allows you to check your papers and let you see your answer scripts. The best part is, it is all combined into one and takes only 10 MB of storage. This project helped me extend my knowledge on how to link different apps together and keep coding, which is the most prestigious and precious thing I love to learn about. This project helped me reach my learning goal as well. The ATL skills I developed during the project were communication skills, collaboration skills, organization skills, reflection skills, information literacy, and media literacy skills. I have developed different learning attributes, and the learning profile attributes I have developed are thinkers, inquirers, researcher. My chosen global context is scientific and technical innovation. The line of acceleration was for this project will be adaptation, ingenuity, and progress. Thank you so much for watching, everyone, and have a great day ahead.
Hi, I'm Ashika Sehgal, and from a very young age, I have been passionate about makeup. It has always fascinated me to see how people get so confident applying makeup, so I thought of making a documentary regarding this. After that, to clear my ideas, I decided to brainstorm my thoughts. I attended a well known makeup artist, Shubina Sood's several classes about makeup and skincare, which made me more confident while doing my makeup. I also watched Malvika Sitlani's makeup tutorials to help know more about different skin types so that I can help others. After working on my ideas, I decided to work on the final product, which is a documentary about motivating people and making them feel much more confident. In this documentary, people share different experiences about how they overcome their insecurities. So, moving forward in December, I could see my product.
My personal project is a website that contains articles and blog entries outlining options that Indian students have to study abroad. It educates students about possible countries, courses, and scholarship opportunities. The main aim of my website is to help foster an educational environment of internationally minded citizens that are creating global communities and nurturing their identities as global citizens. I have a large personal interest in this, as I found myself struggling to find resources that cater to me as an Indian student wanting to study abroad. The personal project allowed me to explore and understand the aspects of international higher education that are not taught in school, while still benefiting both myself and my community. I connected my project with the global context, globalization, and sustainability, with the exploration strand, interconnectedness of human made systems and communities. I did this because I wanted to promote the idea of globalization through international education and how a human made system like university can help us connect many communities into one. In order to create a goal, I had to first brainstorm my ideas. I did this using a mind map where I put down all my ideas in one place. After doing this, I was able to come up with a clear and concise goal. For my primary research, I sent out a survey and received 80 responses. I also attended a university fair where I communicated with university representatives in order to better understand the whole process. As for my secondary research, I used a variety of videos, websites, and articles to gather relevant information. Once I was complete with my research, it was time to start building my product. Before even choosing a platform, I had written out all my articles on a document and also created my success criterion. After that, it was time to choose my platform. I had to use a platform that would allow me to create a website according to my aesthetics while also making sure it did not cost any money and was virus free. I finally settled on Wix, one of the most reputable website platforms, and then started building my website. After creating my website, I added all my content and made sure it fit my design specifications. I added an About Me section in order to make it more personal. There were 10 articles, each on a different country. I also added a section where people could email me some doubts and send me feedback. The personal project journey really helped me develop some crucial approaches to learning, like communication skills, self management skills, and research skills. I also developed the IB Learner profiles with a specific focus on the profiles of knowledgeable, inquirer, open minded, and principled. I struggled with my mental health, and in order to maintain my wellness, I created a playlist of music that helped me focus, walked my dog for physical exercise, and maintained a healthy sleep schedule so that I could be productive. Next, I reflected upon my whole personal project journey. I considered the impact of my project on my community and how it would help future students and my peers to choose an international location for higher education. I also finalized all future endeavors for my website and how I would carry it forward. For me, the most interesting challenge was overcoming my fear of digital design and creating my own website. Finally, I gave some advice to the upcoming batch and how they can succeed in their own personal project journey.
What was my goal throughout my project? So, my goal was to create an app to encourage players and teenagers who play basketball on a regular basis or are interested to play basketball in future or have been picked. This app will let you know the four most important things a shooter know before shoot a ball. Also, this app will help you in shooting a ball in a proper or a gentle way, step by step, by four methods. As you can see, the proper gestures and a proper way of shoot a ball. Inquiry question. To what extent can my app encourage players to focus on the postures, which also with also keeping accuracy in the mind. That if I'm focusing on my hand gestures, body posture in a proper way, then I might not focus on my accuracy, but how to think both of the side positively. That accuracy is also fine, and the shooting posture is also very well. This was kind of think question I used to think about. So the platform I chose to create an app was MIT App Inventor. It is very good good known and a famous platform where not only youngsters but also professional app makers create their app by using this website only. Also, I was thinking of joining a class to learn how to create an app because I was literally a beginner. I did not know how to create an app, how to start, how to end. But then I watched some YouTube videos and I focused on MIT App Inventor. And if I talk about my app, how I created it, it usually have two buttons and four slides, and also one home page where it shows start learning. We press it, and then we look at all the images that I've posted, how to shoot a ball step by step. There are four steps. How can I encourage the upcoming generation to shoot a ball in a proper manner with the help of my app? So, by creating some plan of postures, also student or some players will follow those instructions that I will give because I'm also a player. I have some teammates, I have some players, so accuracy will be fine. Because if a posture or some hand gestures and the gentle, if we're shooting a ball in a gentle way, in a proper way for free throw or 3 pointer, doesn't matter. So accuracy will automatically gain and increase. Socializing my app through mails, SMS, WhatsApp, Instagram, etc. To encourage players, there would be a video of shooting that would let people know how to shoot a ball from 3 pointer or a free throw in a proper way, such as the video of Stephen Curry or some motivational video. The best point will be would be sitting with my teammates or group of friends and letting them know the importance of shooting in basketball. Also motivating them by several ways. Research work. I've played state, national, international, represent my country in IBS. So also in my school team, I've represented my school in several tournaments. But when I started researching about the proper way of shooting or rhythm shooting in basketball, when I wasn't that correct. So research was very important at that time. 8 year skills, critical thinking, research. Per learner profile, communicator and thinker. Communicator because I communicated with my mentor, my coordinator, also with my peers, my students, my teammates. Thinker because I thought of creating an app because I know I've noticed many players shooting a ball in a wrong way or not a gentle way. Globalization and sustainability is a global context.
My personal project mainly focuses on the right to education for the girl child, and through a blog, I have explored the concept of generating awareness regarding the fundamental right to education for all, especially the girl child. For my project, I was keen on focusing on women empowerment and how education can truly transform the life of the girl child. By doing intensive research on the current literacy rate and the dropout rate for the girl child after middle school, I was able to comprehend and include the information in my blog to reflect on the gender disparity that exists in the field of education. My blog showcases the positive impact of education on two women who have completely transformed their lives as they chose to avail their right to education. Even in the 21st century, education is not considered a priority for many girls in several parts of India, especially in the northern states. Girls are considered fit to do household chores and to raise children. In several Orthodox families, early training in these skills makes them the best candidate for marriage, in most scenarios, child marriage, and so education is not considered important. Through this project, I have been able to understand how education is truly a transformative force to create financially independent and empowered women in today's world. Despite the right to equality and free and compulsory education as a fundamental right, the sad truth is that gender disparity continues to exist, especially in the field of education. I truly believe that women are equal stakeholders in socio-economic development, and without them, no nation can truly progress and prosper. Earlier, I was only planning on making a documentary, however, later I incorporated the documentary in the blog for a greater impact. This would be a more effective communication platform to achieve my learning goal. I want to continue working on this blog in the long run to create a more strong and sustainable impact. The documentary, despite being an effective way of communication, was limited in scope, however, the blog would give me this opportunity. This project gave me a better insight into the global context of fairness and development, rights and responsibilities, since I have been able to understand how the right to access education in the life of a girl child can truly transform her entire life. Individuals and societies was explored through my end product, since female literacy rate, right to education for the girl child, and women empowerment were all concepts taught in the subject. However, through this project, I was able to gain a better understanding of the same. This project has helped me develop into a responsible global citizen, and living in a democracy, I now feel that my opinion truly makes a difference and that I have the power to spread awareness about issues that truly matter to me. I was able to develop my communication and reflective skills through this project. I believe that by collaborating with and interviewing new individuals, as well as by conveying information in simple terms with clarity through my blog, I was able to strengthen my communication skills. I developed my reflective skills by being able to analyze the gender disparity in education situation and using that data to create awareness on the critical need for the equal right to education for the girl child. The most important lesson this project taught me was that we cannot continue to ignore the fact that females constitute 50% of a country's population, and disregarding their education is hazardous for the development of the entire nation. This project changed me personally because I believe that I will never take my education for granted, and I will not turn a blind eye to the fact that a fellow girl child is being denied her right to a basic education. Every individual has a right to make their dreams come true, and the girl child is no different.
Hello, my name is Shari Gupta from MIP 5C, and I'm going to share my personal project experience today with you all. To start with, my goal for this project was to make an environment where both students and parents will know about the different career options they have, and to achieve this, I have built an online career library. My reason for choosing this goal was that this topic was extremely relatable to me, and I had seen my closest family member suffer because they didn't make the right choice at the right time. This sparked a keen interest in me and made me ask myself about what I want to do when I grow up, since I don't want to regret my choice later on. I started off by talking to my cousins about the careers they're interested in and how they made their choices. But even after talking to them, I couldn't get the complete picture, so I decided to do some career aptitude tests through Mindler. Although that didn't help either, as I was not completely aware of my option. So I went on the internet to conduct my own research, but in the end I was at a complete loss as the information was not organized and completely scattered. Upon further research, I discovered not only I, but others are also facing the same issue. Therefore, taking a topic that is not only personal but extremely relatable was the ideal choice. In the beginning, I formed an inquiry question for my personal project. To what extent can awareness about different career paths change the notion of having predetermined careers? This helps in understanding the value of the goal that I've set for myself. Once my inquiry question was formulated, I selected my global context that connected very well with my personal project, Globalization Sustainability. This project has helped me improve my knowledge on careers, and due to the extensive research, it has allowed me to make an appropriate choice for my future career. The anxiety and confusion I had before the project is no longer there, as now I'm completely aware of my option and the thing I should opt for. During the course of this project, my prior MVP learning has been a tremendous help to me. For example, the career counseling session conducted in school gave me an insight and inspiration about my project. Digital design classes helped me in the making of the product, and math and INS classes helped in evaluating the data and sources based on various methods. The ATL skill that I've developed during my personal project is research skills. I think that I developed my research skill the most as this project was mainly data driven and I had to visit various websites in order to gather the information required in order to complete my project. During this project, I realized that self management is something I have to improve upon, as during this project, I was not very well organized and I didn't manage my time better than I should have been. I kept procrastinating my work, and it is something I should realize and I need to work on. My final product is an online career library which contains information on multiple careers divided in an organized manner in order to access the information much more easily. My product was made by keeping the target audience in mind. Let me conclude by saying that my personal project journey not just enhanced my subject knowledge but developed my ATL skill also.
My project is writing blogs to motivate badminton players. My goal is to share my experience in badminton with beginners who have been demotivated due to injuries or because they lost their first few games. I chose identities and relationships as my global context, and the strand that I focused on was personal efficacy and agency, attitudes, motivations, independence, happiness, and the good life. I followed a 5 step timeline throughout my project. Step 1 was brainstorming, step 2 was research, step 3 was writing the draft, step 4 was writing my final blog, and finally, step 5 was creating and publishing my website. The inquiry question for my project was how well can a blog motivate beginners to continue playing? Please scan the QR code to receive further insight of my project through a detailed presentation. During the brainstorming phase of my project, I thought of 3 ideas. First was writing a blog on badminton. Second was reusing the water wasted by water purifiers. And lastly, a simple solution to reduce carbon emissions. Eventually, I chose to write a blog on badminton as I was able to connect with this project the most. As I was not a great blog writer, I decided to read a few blogs related to different topics. Then I created OPVL charts for each blog. This helped me in generalizing the type of stylistic devices that are required to write a blog. This is a glimpse of my final product. On the top right corner is the home page of the website I created. Below it are the 3 blogs that I wrote, and on the left is a snip from one of my blogs. I have placed a link at the bottom left corner. Please visit the website and leave your feedback. I developed 3 ATL skills throughout my project. The first skill that I developed is my organization skill. Secondly, I developed my reflective skills. And finally, the skill that I developed the most is my critical thinking skill. My advice to the next MIP5 batch is that they should start working on their project during their summer break. This will help in reducing the pressure during their January term and assessments. Thank you all for being a patient audience.
Why do teenagers act the way they do, and why is mental health such a primary issue in the adolescent stage of life? This is the inquiry question that basically sums up what my project explored. My project was about adolescent psychology on the basis of mental health, and it was an informative video which had the intended goal of informing people about depression and its effects, causes, and solutions to a certain extent. The global context that I chose was identities and relationships, as it matches the basis of the inquiry questions the best. So before I started my project, I had to set goals and figure out why this project was highly challenging and personal to me. And this is how I kind of organized my thoughts, ideas, and initial planning by setting the basis of what my project actually is and what the point of it is. Before starting the final product, I also had to conduct research as I didn't really have any previous factual knowledge about psychology as a whole. So this is some of my primary research. It includes surveys and interviews with peers and teachers to improve my knowledge and understanding. This is what the process of creating my final product looked like. It included all of my research and my understanding. The ATL skills that I developed the most during this project were my research skills and my self-management skills, as those were the skills that I ended up using the most. The learner profile attributes that I developed the most were being balanced, reflective, and knowledgeable. I became a lot more knowledgeable as I had to conduct a lot of research to fully understand this topic in order to create my final product. My learning goal was to become a lot more aware of this topic in multiple aspects, which I achieved through my primary and secondary research. This project changed me in terms of an emotional and open-minded context. I learned that taking care of your mental health is a lot more important than a lot of other things, and I learned how to become a lot more open-minded in terms of this topic.
The personal project has been a great experience for me as I got to develop and explore new skills like carpentry and soldering. I used my personal project to create my own ukulele that suits my needs as I have not been able to find one in the market. I have a very deep bond with the ukulele as it was the first instrument I ever learned to play. And I always felt that I lacked something, and for me that turned out to be effects. Effects allow me to reach new sonic territories and achieve new and unique sounds that are not achievable by a normal ukulele. I want my ukulele to be cost effective as I want to be able to rebuild it later. I also want my ukulele to be playable and aesthetically pleasing as I want to be able to create music with it and want to have it look pleasing. I researched on how to build an electric ukulele, and I also figured out what all components I can reuse from the pre-existing instruments that I have. There were some components which I could not reuse, as if I did, they would end up ruining my other instruments. I also researched on what type of pickups I could use, as the pickup is what would be amplifying the sound and sending the signal to the amplifier. I also talked to a carpenter about my project and got feedback on my ideas for the design of the ukulele. Building the ukulele was by far the hardest part of my personal project experience, as I had to go out of my comfort zone and learn new skills like carpentry and soldering, which were essential to be able to build the ukulele. I was also able to reuse a lot of components from pre-existing instruments, like the pickup I used was from an old guitar that I had. The tuners were from an old ukulele, and the nut was from an old acoustic guitar. I also think I was able to achieve my goal and sub goals, as I feel that I was able to have it be very playable, be practical, be rugged, and also be relatively aesthetically pleasing. This project has helped me become more reflective and take more risks, as building the ukulele was a huge risk, as I was not sure if the skill set I had would allow me to build the ukulele or not. And the ATL skills that I developed through the journey were my research skills, creative thinking skills, critical thinking skills, and communication skills. Here's a snippet of what the ukulele sounds like. This is the poster that will help you further understand what my project is about, and a QR code is also provided for you to be able to access it later. And thank you so much for viewing my project.
Hi, I'm Ashani Pandey from MYP5, and for my personal project, my main goal was to learn how to create a poetry e-booklet where I shared my poems along with self-made artworks for better understanding and personal connection with the readers viewing it. It was a journey where I researched better on topics and situations such as how a student's mental and physical health was affected during lockdown, people struggling during pandemic and women empowerment, etc. I was able to connect my product with personal interests such as arts and digital designing with poem to make them more impactful on the reader. During my journey of poetry, I was able to show understanding of poetry format, poetic devices, poetry analysis as a learner. I was able to enhance my digital designing skills such as creating e-booklet cover, formatting the e-booklet in simple steps and converting it into a PDF. I use tools like Shutterstock Editor, Visme, and Google Docs for free to create my e-booklet. I was able to accomplish my learning goal as I adhered to my success criteria successfully and met all expectations during creating my final product, which is my e-poetry booklet. My personal project has helped me create strong lyrics. It personally has made me more analytical while thinking and observing situations and topics. It has given me a spark to become a professional poet or a songwriter in future. Throughout my project, I have developed ATL skills such as thinking and research skills while creating poems. I have become knowledgeable while researching about poetry and global issues which are ongoing in current scenario in depth. The global context which I have given is identities and relationship as I communicated and asked people about their personal issues and also expressed my thoughts on them through poetry. Thank you.